Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Hot News. We got some disappointment to talk about today, which we'll do after we talk about the least disappointing part of my day, which is usually my family. But secondly is the first cup of coffee that I have in the morning, which is the Four Sigmatic coffee, which actually has ground mushrooms in it. This one is my favorite, the ground coffee with lion's mane mushrooms. Four Sigmatic is a company that understands the benefit of culinary mushrooms, and they've implemented it in various different drinks and powders that you can use to either make something that resembles a tea or just your regular morning cup of coffee. It does not taste like mushrooms. It just tastes like a good old-fashioned cup of joe. So, ground coffee with lion's mane. You've got ground coffee with ashwagandha. I bought these myself, and you can buy some for yourself down below at the link in the video description. Use coupon code UFDTech to save 10% off when you pick up some Four Sigmatic coffee. It is my favorite coffee. I've drank it every single day since I've been back into the United States, and I don't plan on changing anytime soon. So maybe try it out, my friends. It might be good for you. And maybe don't try out Crysis Remastered, because the meme of can it run Crysis hardy har has been funny since the game launched way back when. However, the remastered trailer leaked, and people weren't happy with it, and I'll show it to you in a second. And so Crytek themselves actually privated the event that was supposed to go live yesterday at noon. It was actually supposed to show off the gameplay trailer of everything, how it looks in the new engine, and boy howdy, not very good. And Crytek releasing a statement on it saying that they understand that they need to get this up to par, that they're going to work on polishing the game, and they will use that extra time to get Crysis Remastered up to the PC and console breaking standard you've come to expect from Crysis games. I'm kind of confused how they didn't expect this to happen in the first place, but instead of talking about it, somebody was actually able to get the trailer online, and as you can see here, a lot of the textures do not look like they've been up-resed at all. A lot of it, like the lighting looks good, and there's definitely some HD remaster stuff going on here, but this is definitely not what you would expect from a 2020 Crysis remaster. You can even see in the video that was just playing with Prophet there that he is jittery and stuttery, which is odd in something that you think that they would want to be showing off. So it's just a weird little launch that they were doing where I guess people were expecting a bit more. Obviously, Crytek never promised a full remake, so a remaster was all we could have expected, but this is supposed to be a showcase of the new engine, and it actually was not really at all. This is more or less I think a lot of people were disappointed with the performance of this and the way that this looks. What do you think of the Crysis Remastered trailer that drops? Do you think that Crytek is right for pulling the announcement and spending more time laying the game so that they can get it up to scratch? Or do you think that this is possibly just marketing? Maybe like some people hypothesize Sonic the Hedgehog when he came out as being a little demon thing, that it was just marketing for the movie and they were never planning on releasing it like that in the first place. Is this very similar? Is this potentially a marketing stunt by Crytek to get people to be like, oh, that's not how good I remember Crysis being, and then they drop what is actually the showcase of the Crytek new engine? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And while we're talking about games that we're expecting to release sometime soon, on July 14th, Death Stranding is coming to PC, and there's been a few people who've been able to get it ahead of time and benchmark its performance, and apparently the DLSS 2.0 actually performs pretty dang well on Death Stranding, and it seems that even if you own a lowly RTX 2060, if you enable DLSS, you should be able to get right around 60 FPS average at 4K, which is pretty phenomenal. They average 56 FPS on a 2060 at 4K on an RTX 2060. That's phenomenal. The 2080 Ti hit right around 105 FPS at 4K with DLSS turned on and was doing about 160 at 1080p due to CPU limits. But it seems like Death Stranding runs pretty well on the PC. It does indeed seem like a pretty good port. And if you want more games, AMD is apparently going to have a new game bundle coming out to their GPUs. They are going to be bundling Godfall, which is the upcoming PlayStation 5 PC game that looks like a looty, grindy hack and slash game, not kind of like a Destiny, but with swords. That's the general idea behind Godfall, as well as World of Warcraft Shadowland. You can get up to these two games when you purchase an AMD RX 5000 series graphics card. This is obviously in conjunction with the fact that they're also giving away Assassin's Creed Valhalla with certain Ryzen 3000 series processors from the 3700X on up. So you might be able to get some pretty good games with AMD. They're continuing to do the game bundle, which I think helps to put them even a little bit further ahead than Intel, especially when it comes to making sure gamers are taken care of, which a lot of gamers seem to like Final Fantasy games. And I know that our editor Catlin very much loves Crysis Core.
Oh yeah!
I personally didn't have a PSP, so I haven't had a chance to play it, but looks like if I want to play it on PC, there is now going to be an AI enhanced retexture of the game. This is coming courtesy of somebody over on Reddit. He worked on his own Crysis Core upscale project, and as you can see, the images that are coming out of the PC version of Crysis Core, the emulated PC version of Crysis Core, actually look pretty good. Not what I would think a PSP game on the PC would look like. So let me know what you think of Crysis Core. Would you actually play it if it's retextured on PC? Keen to hear from you down below in the comments. And I'm keen to get a pack of these. This is something that I definitely want. I've been hearing more and more about the company Montech, which seems to be making more like budget cases and case peripheral stuff coming out. Well, they just launched their Z3 Pro addressable RGB fans, a 3-in-1 pack, which typically, if you're going for a high-end case fan setup, that's going to cost you about $100 to $120 if you're going for Corsairs. Well, these beautiful ones obviously have these white frames, addressable LEDs, which look pretty good, only are coming in at a price of $40 for a pack of 3, which is not horrendous for addressable LEDs. Obviously, I have no idea whether or not the quality is any good, but I do plan on picking these up and potentially doing a video of it on our second channel, Brainus, which you can check out right up there. And I'm planning on dreaming about this next product because I am in no way ever going to be able to afford this at this point, which is Samsung's new 870 QVO 8TB SATA SSD. They are officially announcing these. They are coming in 1TB up to 8TB capacities. The pricing is supposed to start at $130 for the 1TB model. When this got leaked on Amazon a few weeks ago, I think it was $800 for the 8TB model, and that's a spicy meatball right there. But what's a spicy meatball to my eyes is Xiaomi's new 65-inch OLED TV, which has 120 Hz variable refresh rate, as well as a low latency mode powered by a quad-core ARM Cortex processor. But obviously, the most beautiful thing is it has RGB. It has some sort of teased RGB thing on the TV, which we all know everybody needs. So get your RGB in case you want it, and get your Note 20 Ultra in case that's something what you want, because Samsung leaked their own phone, which they have not announced yet, on their own site. Over on Samsung's Russian site, they leaked the Mystic Bronze version of the Note 20 Ultra, which it seemed like at least a couple months ago when cell phone numbers were being reported that the S20s weren't selling very well, so I can't expect that the price on this would be low enough that people would want to purchase this. But are you considering getting a Note 20 Ultra? Let me know down below in the comments, and let me know if you use Spotify, because they're rolling out a new plan known as Premium Duo to allow people to have a cheaper premium plan for 2 people as opposed to the family plan, which can support up to 6 people. The current premium plan goes for $10 a month. For the family plan, it goes for $15, and it looks like they're splitting that right down the middle for the Duo plan, which is going to come in at $12.99. So you save a couple bucks. So hopefully this helps out a few more people, but we are not going to be helped out with the launch of the next Mars rover. This is being delayed. It was originally supposed to launch on July 22nd. Perseverance now not blasting off until the earliest of July 30th, them having a launch window from them. And this is because a liquid oxygen sensor on the line produced off nominal results. So they have to scale it back and get it, making sure that they can actually get to Mars and they don't have another Mars polar lander situation on their hands, because that would be sad. And Stadia is sad. I'm going to talk about Stadia until the day it dies, but Stadia now, finally, another launch feature is coming out months after launch. The Stadia controller would now work wirelessly with Android phones. You don't have to tether it. Isn't that nice? Isn't that launch feature that they promised nice to have now? And isn't it nice to know that everything is in a constant state of upheaval this year? And Intel forced to pause shipments on one of their largest customers to one of the leading server makers. Inspur, the world's number 3 server vendor overall, has to have its shipments from Intel suspended because of United States regulatory government stuff for export regulations with regards to things going to China. Intel saying in a statement to Tom's Hardware that they expect this to last for less than 2 weeks for some items, and others will resume in a matter of days, and they're just trying to make sure that everything is in compliance with US law. But pausing one of your largest clients at a moment's notice probably does hurt the bottom line, at least a little bit. But you know whose bottom line's not hurting? Tesla's. For some reason, they are now the most valuable automaker in the entire world, at least based on stock valuation. They don't produce the most cars in the world, but obviously their stock price isn't necessarily tied to their car performance. It's tied to both the cars as well as the value of the software that people are expecting, with Tesla stock passing $1,100 as of the time of filming, giving it a $210 billion market cap, which surpassed Toyota's $172 billion market cap. And this is since its year-to-date low of $361 on the 18th of March. So you could have nearly quadrupled your money if you got in on Tesla at the beginning of the year. Actually, not at the beginning of the year, but back in March, which, I mean, I'm just sad. I'm sad that I didn't own any Tesla stock, but that's how it goes. You never know what's coming. But you know what's coming now, the end of hot news. But don't you worry. You need to go to bed, okay? That's what's happening, because YouTube is now rolling out the feature that tells you when to go to bed based on your watch time stuff. It's the bedtime reminders are now available on the Android and iOS app for YouTube. Remind me when it's time for bed on YouTube. You can set that up now because it's hot news is over. But when you wake up tomorrow, why don't you grab yourself a cup of Four Sigmatic coffee? Maybe not tomorrow, obviously it has to ship to you, but my favorite coffee, I'm going to drink this tomorrow morning. I'm going to go get my coffee maker set up after this. I have a scheduled coffee maker that I've hit, hey, give me my coffee as soon as I wake up, and then I just drink my Four Sigmatic coffee in the morning, and you can too if you use the link in the video description. Use coupon code UFDTech to save 10%. Do it, friends. Four Sigmatic. I love it so much, and I'm so glad that they're a sponsor, and I'm so glad that you watched this episode. Why don't you hit the like button if you enjoyed it? Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our hot news content. Maybe check out our second channel, Brainus. We're rebranding in a little bit. Yes, it's still called Hot News, but we're going to be fixing that shortly. Big thanks to all of our supporters on Patreon and Floatplane. Couldn't be doing this without you. Love you guys. Love everybody who's watching, and goodbye.